to all of you. I welcome you once again to my class. I am Dr. Vandana Vik, Professor working at the Thankar Mahavir University, Muradabad. Now, today we are going to discuss the topic is the art of public speaking. When we are discussing communication, communication is not complete without discussing or stressing upon the art of public speaking. So in this, what do we understand? The first thing is that what do we understand? What is public speaking? What is the art of public speaking? There are two things. One is public speaking and the other is the art of public speaking. Means public speaking is that when we address audiences, okay, live, when we address live audiences, that is called public speaking. And when the audience is more than 5 people, then we can call it public speaking. So it is like when we have to present, and there are different forms of public speaking. Public speaking, it can be a presentation, it can be a paper presentation, it can be a PPT presentation in an academic environment, or in a professional environment. It can be a launch of a new product, or introducing some new policy in the company, or reporting. Means when we have to send the reports also in a professional environment, in an office or in an organization, when we have to present the reports. So along with the written report, there is always a presentation also of reports. So all these come under the category of public speaking. Then a very common and very common form of public speaking are the political speeches. Like we address the public, when the political leaders, they address the public. So these all come under the category, or we can even say that the director of a college addressing all the faculty and the students. So all these come under the category of public speaking. Now the art of public speaking means how this public speaking should be conducted, means how should we do, what are the things that should be kept in mind so that whatever we say is effective to the listeners. Means the audience or the listeners, they take a person seriously, it is effective, it falls, they are impressed or they are forced to listen to it. So means it is how we can make our presentation or our speech means so impressive and impactful that the people they tend to listen, or people are attracted to listen, or they are hooked to listen. So all these will come under the category of the art of public speaking. So today my session will be on the art of public speaking. Now before we begin, let's see what is the benefit of the learners. What will be the learning outcomes, means what the learners will learn after attending this session. So the first is they will develop confidence, self-confidence. Means after learning, after going through this session, after attending this session, the learners will be able to know that how public speaking can be done and how a person can be confident, means increase in self-confidence. Then second is enhances clarity and effectiveness in verbal expression. Means the verbal expression will be enhanced and it will become more clear. Then the learners will be able to structure speeches on proper points which need to be emphasized and examples. Then the learners will be able to learn the techniques to capture and maintain the audience attention. And the last is the learners will be able to respond constructively to the questions or the queries of the audience. So all this the learners will be able to learn. These are the learning outcomes. Now we come to the table of contents. The table of contents, that is, what will be the table, means what are we going to discuss in this session. The first is the introduction. Then we have the definition. Introduction means in the introduction we have the definition, then the importance, key concepts, then application exercises, then common pitfalls to avoid, then practical application tips, and we have the conclusion. So we have divided this session into these many parts. Now we will discuss, we will begin with definition. Means public speaking is called oratory. Public speaking skills are called oratory skills. Means how we speak in front of the public. Means our speaking skills. Oratory are our speaking skills. And when we speak in front, means speaking is not speaking when I am talking to my friend, nor when I am addressing my students. But oratory skills are they are called oratory skills when you have to address the public. So is the act of skill of delivering speeches on a subject before a live audience. That means we have to, what do we have to do? That public speaking is that when live, in front of the live audience, we have to deliver a speech. Means one thing is that the speech can be delivered. The speech can be recorded and it can be delivered to the public. But when we are delivering the speech in front of live audience. So what is the difference between a recorded speech and a live speech? The major difference is that reported speeches made, then they can be omitted by editing. But live speeches, if a mistake has been made and if it is noticed by the audience, then their presentation is a report which is being presented to the higher ups, or it is the introduction of some new policy or some new course that is being introduced in front of the students or the faculty members. All these come under the category of public speaking. Then the second type is keynote speaker. When a person has to address an audience, means I can give you a very simple example of a conference. Like in a conference there is a keynote speaker. Means who will begin, who will address the audience, who will introduce the topic and who will tell a little about himself also. So that keynote speaker, that also comes under the category of public speaking, because the keynote speaker, he has to address a number of people. There will be audience, there will be people who will be attending the conference, there will be people who will be paper presentees, okay, and the people who had organized the conference. That governing body will also be there. So they all will be the audience. So that also comes in the category of public speaking. Then after this we have a few more examples of public speaking, that is political speech. That means political speech means that when the political leaders, they address the audience, they address the people with the political issues, whether it is conversing for their own, conversing to vote for their party or them, or it is some other issues that has been raised by the political, means whether there are some declarations made by the chief minister of the state, or it is the governor of the governor who has to make the announcements. So all these come under the category of political speeches. So these political speeches are also fall under the category of public speaking. Then our next example would be a motivational speech. Means motivational speakers. It is very common these days that these motivational speakers, they sometimes live or sometimes reported. Their reported speeches are uploaded on YouTube and other social media sites, and the people, they view it. So sometimes they are, or at times, means that depends on person to person, that who wants to go live and who wants to go record it. So that depends upon it. So it is that these motivational speakers, they also are a form of motivational speeches, they are also a form of public speaking. And the most important, the business pitch. Business pitch means that when for a business purpose, means for the purpose of business, means in an organization, in a workshop, in a company, for whatever reason, when the presentations are made, when there is a launch of a new product, or when there is the introduction of a new policy, all right, or if a new machine has been launched in the or introduced in the company. So the functioning of the machine or the launch of a product, telling them about the product or the policy that has been introduced. For all these things, business pitch means business in the area of business. The public means public speaking. Public speaking is there. Means all these things come under the category of public speaking, because in all these we are addressing an audience. Whatever the size of the audience, that is a separate issue. But we are giving a speech, or we are speaking in front of an audience. So this all comes under the category of public speaking. So I think that till here means you people have been able to understand that what is public speaking and what are the categories that fall under public speaking. Now, what is the importance of public speaking? Public speaking, it enhances communication skills, then it boosts confidence, then it influences and persuades, then career advancement, build critical thinking skills, then increases opportunities and fosters personal growth. These all are the important, these all where public speaking is important. That is, important means effective communication, means are effective. The more we practice, the more effective our communication skills become. So the more we speak in front of the public, the more confident we will be, and the more enhanced our communication skills would be. Then confidence, I have said that it boosts confidence, means the more you speak first time, you might be nervous. But what about the second time? You will be a little more confident. Then the third time more confident, fourth time more confident, and then slowly and gradually say, okay, I have to go and speak. Alright, let's see what's the content, and you are done. Okay, so this is, it boosts confidence. Then influences and persuades, means the public speaking. The public speaking is for, we have to persuade. We can persuade or we can influence people. Means there are influencers. These motivational speakers are influencers who influence. Then people are there who want to sell their product. So when they sell their product, what do? They are persuading you to purchase your product. So this all comes, this is also the, means from public speaking, we can motivate people, we can influence people, and we can persuade people to take action. Then career advancement. Public speaking is very important for career advancement. Means the more you speak, means whatever work you are doing, that's okay. This is a tip of professional word. That first of all, the more you come into the limelight, the more professionally advancements or promotions you will get. Means if you are writing reports and you are sending, that's okay. Means that will come into the notice of your boss, immediate boss, and boss or an immediate boss of your boss. Okay. But when you are speaking and you are speaking in front of people, then obviously this would be more impactful. Means your speaking is always more impactful than your written documents. So it is, means your career advancement, it depends, because whosoever, if you have a good command over your communication skills, you have good command over your presentation skills, then what would happen, that people will get influenced very easily. So those who will listen to it, they will remember it for a long time, and that can be beneficial for your career. Then the next one is builds critical thinking. Obviously, when we have to speak in front of people and we know that there is no retake for it, there is no omitting, editing for it, whatever we have whatever we have spoken. So in such cases, what do? We prepare, we pay more stress on preparing the content that we have to speak, and for that we work hard. Means collecting the information from different sources and then critically analyzing the information, that what should be added, what should be included, and what should be excluded. So they help in analyzing and synthesizing the content. Then then increases opportunities. Obviously, when career advancements are there, there are always opportunities. Means, I'll tell you one thing, all of you had been in school. Means a student who had given a dance performance on the Teachers' Day, or a student who has given a dance performance on the Independence Day, that student will become famous everywhere in the school. Means everybody, even if people don't know which class he is, people don't know what is his name or what kind of a student he would, they will say, okay, the student who had given presentation of that song, the student who has danced on that song. So the student becomes popular. Means coming in front of the public, means becoming the apple of an eye of the public. It is that the more we come in, the more we come on stage, the more popular we become. So and when we are popular, obviously opportunities are always there. Then fosters personal growth. That means obviously public speaking, it fosters our personal growth. Means we develop personally, develop in all the ways. Means if our communication skills are enhanced, then it is an added advantage. It is one of the biggest advantage in today's world. And when communication skills means, I am talking about both spoken as well as written communication, because when the speeches are prepared, then you need to write them down. You need to organize the content, organize the content. And let me tell you, in so many years of my working career, one thing which I have learned, if I have been given a content to speak, I will never be that confident until and unless I have prepared the content myself. If I have worked on it, I had prepared the content, then I know each and every part of the body of the content. So I will be more confident in presenting. And there is a scope that even if I miss out on something, I know that if I miss out on one point, how I have to pick it up. So that is something which is very important. So it is, I would always suggest everybody that whether it is a PPT presentation or it is a paper presentation or it is a report presentation, don't take the chewed food of other people. Prepare it yourself, chew it yourself. Means take it, work on it, collect matter, work on it for a number of times, revise, and then your job is done. Because once there are 2, 3, 4 revisions, then you don't need to mug it up, you don't need to learn it. Your content is ready to be spoken, and means you know each and every part of your content. So these are all the things which we will be discussing. This all is the, and these things, what happens that in all, obviously it enhances the personality of a person. It boosts the confidence of a person, because with every new thing we are learning something, right? So there is obviously overall development, and if it all enhances the personality of a person. So now of the art of public speaking. Now I am going to discuss all these key concepts in detail. The first one is audience analysis. The second is structure and organization. Then third is delivery techniques, and the fourth one is managing nervousness. Now after this I will be discussing all these in detail. First is audience analysis. Now what is audience analysis? Means before I have to speak, because whatever I am speaking, public speaking means it includes everything, right? It includes your speeches, it includes the PowerPoint presentations, it includes the addressing of the public for different reasons, right? So it is, when I am talking about something, I am including everything. So first of all, audience analysis means the most important thing is, what means the most important thing, what the most important factor in our public speaking is the audience. Means who are the audience? What kind of audience? Means we have to question we have to raise these questions, that who are my audience? What is the knowledge level of the audience? Whether the audience are literate or illiterate, whether the audience belong to which strata of society, whether the audience are from medical field or engineering field or the education field. So all these things are there which we have to keep in mind. So we have to see that what are the expectations of the audience, and most important, what is the demographic, what are the demographics of the audience? Means the audience belong to which particular area. Because this language, demographic is because of the language, the place which the audience belong to. Like if the audience belongs to, let's say, Gujarat. Okay, now I have to give a speech in front of the audience who belong to Gujarat. So my speech would be effective. How it will be effective? First, let me know that what is the culture of Gujarat. Means what are the common examples which the people use in their day-to-day language. So if I will affix those all, if I will include all those in my speech, the people will be, there will be more easy connection towards the people. Means they will find a connection that yes, means maybe he is also Gujarati, or maybe he is well versed with the Gujarati culture. So if we know that the person belongs to which culture, it becomes easier for us to draw the examples also and to explain it to the people. So the demographics of a person is important. Then the knowledge level. Then the interest. What are the interests of the people? Means if I am going to a farmer class and the people I am addressing the audience who belongs to the working in the farmer class, and I am talking to them about NEP. So do you think they would be interested? No, they will not be interested. The labor class, the farmer class, they would only be interested if I talk something which will help in increasing their income. So we have to see that which category we are talking to, what are the interests of the people. Then the next one is the knowledge levels. Obviously, if I am addressing the students of class 6, my presentation would be different to what I will be presenting if my speech presentation would be different from what I will be speaking in front of the class 12 level or the UG level, because the knowledge level of the students is different. Then when I am speaking, like I have to see if I am speaking in front of the medical fraternity or the medical audience, then what I have to do, I will try to incorporate some words, some technical words or the jargons from the medical field to develop easy acceptability of the audience. Then after this we have, it means what do the audience expect from us? I have to keep in mind that what are the expectations of the audience, means what do they expect from me, what have they come there to listen, why they have come there to listen to my speech. So I have to keep in mind, means they always would feel that there is something that will be beneficial for them. So that is something which I need to keep in mind while preparing my speech. Then the next one is the structure and organization. Now structure means whatever my speech is, whatever whatever I am addressing the audience for, everything needs to be structured properly. If I am taking the help of the PowerPoint presentation, then that should be properly made and properly organized. Structured and organized means if I am using a PowerPoint presentation, then I have to work on it. If I am writing a speech, if I am giving a speech, then I have to structure and organize my content well. Means obviously we people have discussed that a well-structured format holds importance for everything, whether it is a written communication or it is an oral communication. So we need to first collect the content. We need to first, whatever our topic is, we need to collect the content from different sources, then analyze, critically analyze the content, and then decide that what are the things that we need to incorporate and what are the things we need to delete. So again, as I have discussed in my previous classes, that we need to make an outline, that how my speech or my presentation would go. What are the key concepts that I will be organizing? So obviously the structure that I will be keeping is the introduction, the body and the conclusion. That would be the structure. Now in between the structure I can make a number of changes. I can use them according to my requirement. So now the first is the introduction. What is the introduction? The purpose of the introduction is to introduce the people that what I am talking about. So the introduction always has to be with a punchline, or it has to be some eye-catchy or ear-catchy phrase that will attract the attention of the people. And if it is it is in coordination with the demographic of the condition of the audience, then it will be all the more easy for the speaker to develop acceptability with the audience. So the introduction means we are going to tell the audience that what our speech is about. Then there is the techniques. Means techniques are that what is there. Means first of all we have to tell what we are going to speak about and what will be the benefit of the audience from that speech or presentation. That is something which needs to be emphasized, because until and unless we show the benefits of my presentation or my speech to the audience, they would never ever be interested to listen and sit till the end. After introduction we come to the body. Body, obviously the main body means what is the main content. Then again body can be divided into paragraphs, the body can be divided into points. If it is, means I am telling both paragraphs, points, I am telling both, because it's speech also, it's PowerPoint presentation also, it's paper presentation also. So the way the content has to be organized, there can be a number of paragraphs which can be formed, and according to the requirement we will use those paragraphs. Then after, and then we have to enhance whatever we say, that needs to be enhanced or supported by the examples or evidences. Then after the body we have the conclusion. What is the conclusion? Conclusion is like when we summarize all the points that we have discussed, all the points that I had that we have mentioned in our speech or presentation, and we have to reinforce, means we have to mention again in a different word language, in an attractive form. We have to reinforce the main message or the main idea of our speech. That means what do we want our audience to do, whether it is some motivational speech that we need them to take action, or we want to give them a thought we want to give them food for thought, or we want them to take immediate action and we want to persuade them for action. So whatever is it, that needs to be reinforced in the conclusion part once again. So after this, the third thing that we will be discussing are the delivery techniques. Now what are the delivery techniques means that how we are going to deliver our speech or presentation, whatever is there. So in the category of delivery, delivery tools, what falls is that or delivery techniques, what falls is like eye contact, gestures, facial expressions, body language, and vocal variety. All these come under the category of this delivery techniques. Means the eye contact. When we are looking straight in the eyes of the audience, then they will also be forced to look into our eyes and they will be forced to listen to us. And from the eye contact, we can make out that whether the audience is able to understand what we are trying to say or not. Sometimes from the eye contact with people, we come to know that the people are not able to understand. Then we try to explain it in a different manner. So this is the importance, and eye contact means people will be alert, because when we are looking, people will be alert. They will have this in mind, that they will have this. So in front of a full classroom, or in a big hall, the audience would not want that they are pointed out and they are not able to answer. Means it shows their callousness or their inattentiveness. So eye contact is very important. Eye contact even shows that the speaker is confident, the speaker is attentive, and the speaker has worked hard on his or her presentation or speech, whatever it is. Now gestures, these all are elements of body language, right? So gestures are like just standing. If I just stand in front of you and I am just simply speaking, then when in front of the because this is a recorded session, so I can do that. But in front of the live audience, it will become very monotonous. So the speaker needs to make gestures, use gestures, the hand movements, the leg movements, covering the stage from one place to another, trying to question, shaking the head. So all these, they come under gestures. Then we have the facial expressions. Facial expression means we should have a lighted face. Means we should be fresh in the morning, because if I am dull, if I am slouching, then obviously my audience will go off to sleep. So The facial expression should be like very pleasing with a smile on my face and politeness on my face. I would address my audience. So the facial expressions, obviously, if I am enthusiastic, if I am taking interest in my speech or my presentation, and if I am confident, that would reflect on my face. So that is what is important for the audience. Then vocal variety. Vocal variety means as we people had discussed intonation and voice dynamics in our previous session. So vocal variety is the intonation and the voice dynamics. Means what is the pitch, what is the pace, differentiation between pitch, pace and volume. Okay, the stress, emphasis, all these things fall in the category of vocal variety. Means sometimes we are talking loudly, the things which we have to emphasize, we are talking loud, we can speak loudly. If we have to attract the attention, we can speak like slowly, that to show that means it is something confidential, it is something important, or this way we can make vocal variations, and this vocal variation, these vocal variations, they break the monotony of the audience and it gives energy to the presentation or the speech. So all these things, and these all things come with the help of practice. Means when we practice and we practice beforehand, then we can incorporate all these things. Means when we are very confident about and clear about the content that we have to deliver. So once that we are clear, then all these additional things and improvement we can make. Now after the delivery techniques, so I have discussed them in detail, that is eye contact. So I have already discussed what is maintaining the eye contact. Then we have the gestures. So gestures are the hand gestures, and hand gestures, the leg gestures, the head movements, all these come under the gestures. So these gestures should be slow. These gestures should be there to attract the audience attention, because the gestures, what happens, like the audience, somebody they go daydreaming, and this is like we cannot blame them in long, if they have to sit for long hours. So obviously the attention, it gets diverted. So if they are daydreaming, if their attention has been diverted, so with the gestures they can come back. So the gestures, they bring them back to the present. So, but these gestures, one thing we have to keep in mind is that these gestures should not be distracting. Means we should not make the gestures this way that the audience is completely distracted. Then after the gestures, we are giving them an example. Okay, an example about something horrific, or examples about something which is very jovial, or something which is exciting. Then from our facial expressions, the energy in us will be traveled to them. Right? You know the energy travels. So if we are enthusiastic, we will become enthusiastic. If I am bored and I don't have any interest in my speaking or my presentation, the audience will definitely go off to sleep. So our facial expression should be that they make our audience lively and energetic. Then matching expressions to message. This is something which is very important. Like I am giving a sad news that there are floods in a particular place, and those floods, there have been so many casualties. So if I am discussing that and I have a big smile on my face, the audience will be confused that I am talking about whether it is a sad news or whether it is a happy news, right? So our facial expressions, they should match the content what we are delivering. Understood? So this is one thing. So after the facial expressions, again we come to that is the vocal variety. Vocal variety, I have discussed that different techniques, means the vocal techniques can be used. Means we can emphasize something which we need to emphasize, means is something which we need to bring to their notice again and again. We will emphasize, we will lay emphasis on that, we will stress on certain things. That means the pace of the sentence, the pace of the words in a sentence can either it can be slowed down or it can be increased, so that all these variations we can bring in order to emphasize, in order to add variety to my speech or my presentation. After this, the next topic, the next key concept is managing nervousness. This is something which is very, very, very important, because managing nervousness means that everybody, not everybody is confident. Means even for the first time, now I have been teaching for over 28, 29 years. I have been in this field and I have been standing and talking and talking. Maybe today also, if I have to give give a presentation on the stage, or maybe a typical means some kind of audience, I might also be nervous. So nervousness is not a crime. Nervousness is not a sin. Nervousness is a simple human activity. Means that everybody tends to be nervous. So if we are nervous, if you are nervous, if I am nervous, then it is not a crime to be nervous, because this nervousness can be improved. This nervousness can be overcome. This nervousness can be overcome by good preparation and repetition of performances. Means by repetition means a number of times, if I give a presentation, slowly and gradually my nervousness will go away. Because first time, doing anything for the first time, everything gets nervous. It means even if I have to make a cup of tea, when I was young and I had to make a cup of tea, and my mother told me to go and make a cup of tea for her, then I was nervous that how to, because I've seen things so many times, but practical experience I had none. So for the first time, when I went and made a cup of tea, obviously I was also obviously nervous. So nervousness is a very, very common feeling that would come to anybody whenever, whatever activity we are doing for the first time. So the techniques for managing nervousness, yes, I would be discussing what are the techniques for managing nervousness. They are like relaxation techniques. Means relaxation techniques means if you are feeling nervous, if you are feeling shy, then what is on the in front of the audience? First, take a deep breath. Okay, take some few deep breaths. So your attention would be diverted. Your nervousness can be controlled. There are relaxation techniques, that is deep breathing and visualization. Means you visualize. Means this is a new technique which has been introduced and it is becoming very common these days, that you have to visualize that yes, everything is going fine. Everybody is, my audience is sitting in front of me, my audience is listening to me, and at the end they are applauding and appreciating me. So this visual we will have to create before giving a presentation. And this we have to practice few days before the presentation, this visualization. And when we go in front of the audience, first thing is deep breathing. Instead of looking at the audience and getting nervous, start taking focus on your breath. Focus on your breath, focus on your breathing, and start taking, like you have to take 10 deep breaths, or you have to take 20 deep breaths, whatever is your whatever you have decided upon. So you focus on your breathing. Then visualization. Bring that visualization which you had, means the visualization which you had created a number of days before, means you have practiced earlier. Bring that visualization, then bring that visual in front of you. Okay, so this will bounce your confidence. Then the second technique is focusing on message and audience. Don't focus on yourself. I am becoming nervous. My hands are shaking. I am feeling afraid. I am feeling shy. How I will be talking? No. Focus on what message you have to give and focus on the audience. Means what kind of audience are there. Look at how many audience are there. What the audience are doing. Because you are looking at the audience, but maybe all the audience are looking at you, but nobody would have a direct eye contact with you until and unless you want to have the eye contact. And in place of the eye contact means one thing is, in the beginning you can just look at the wall behind the audience. Okay, so the front people, they will think that you are looking at the back audience, and the back audience would think that you are looking at your focus is somewhere other. So and sideways. So this is one technique which will avoid, which will calm you and which will overcome your nervousness. Shifting focus from self to message and engaging with the audience. Means shift your focus, means what message you have to give, what is the importance of the message. Think about all this. And then second is shifting your attention on the audience. Means first of all, the key point of the key point of giving a presentation is that when a person meets, first of all you have to make yourself comfortable and you have to make the audience comfortable, because as you are new for the audience is also new for you, right? That means the audience is new for you, you are also new for the audience. The audience also who are sitting there under some compulsion or under their interest, means if your speech or presentation or your speech as public speaking is for 2 hours or 3 hours, maybe if they are aware that it is for 3 hours, they don't know what kind of a speaker you are, they don't know that what you will speak, whether it will be fruitful for them or not, whether it will be engaging or not, whether it will be useful for them or not. So these inhibitions the audience is also sitting there, they also have these inhibitions in their mind. So the first step towards audience is to develop a cordial relation with the audience, and that is simply telling about yourself and asking few light questions, flipping here and there. So that is the thing where you can overcome your nervousness and you can overcome the nervousness of your audience also. So after this, I hope you have been able to understand. After this, the next is practice, practice and practice. So managing nervousness. How we can manage nervousness? The only thing is that practice, practice and practice. Means the more you practice, the more confident you will be, and the more the nervousness will go away. Because once you know each and every part of your conversation, means of your presentation. Presentation is for the speech also and the other presentation or report, any kind of thing. So I am referring that as presentation. So means whatever, until if you know each and every word of your presentation, there won't be any nervousness. So you have to practice, practice and practice. So the practice makes a man perfect. So the practice will help you overcome your nervousness. Then the next one is knowing your material. That is what I just spoke. That you should know each and every part, each and every word of your presentation. That will boost your confidence. You will never falter anywhere, and even if you miss out on certain points, you know how to compensate. Engaging the audience. This is another thing. Means if you have faltered somewhere, okay, if you have missed out on certain point, if you have missed out on any points, then what you have to do is start asking questions. That is the best technique. That will give you time to think. That will give you time to recollect yourself. Okay, so you can ask questions from the audience. Then you can make eye contact with the audience, and you can ask questions and invite them to participate. Means what is your opinion? What do you understand? How do you feel about this? So what do you think should be done? So these are some simple questions which can be asked, that can help you recollect yourself, to gather your breath, to revise in your mind, and to engage audience. So it will solve double purpose. Now after this we have application exercises overview. That is, application exercises is that prepare and deliver a speech. Means prepare and deliver a speech. Then what we can do is prepare and deliver a speech. Then watch and analyze speeches. And the third is join a public speaking group. Now we will discuss these application exercises in detail. That is, prepare and deliver a speech. Prepare and deliver a speech means choosing a topic, applying key principles. That is choosing a topic, right? So this is, the first thing is choose a topic. This you have to practice. Choose a topic of your choice and prepare. And then deliver in front of audience. Means audience can be your friends, audience can be your colleagues, audience can be your students, or audience can be your parents, right? So you can make them sit and ask them to listen. So they are the people who will give you the correct feedback, right? They will give you the correct feedback of what you have done and means how your presentation is going and what are the shortcomings of your presentation. Then applying key principles. Apply all the key principles that we have to keep in mind. Please don't think that this is a simple, this is just a practice presentation. So let me just take it casually. Don't do that. Don't do that. Practice means practice properly. So apply all the key principles that you will apply when you are actually giving a live presentation or a live speech. Because then only your preparation will be useful. Otherwise, the preparation will be futile. Then next is watch and analyze speeches. Means there are a number of speeches. Means this is a bliss which we have of internet, that we can go on internet, we can search for different speeches, and we can listen, and there is audio also, there is visual also, and there is audio visual. So we can listen also, and we can see their body language also. So we can listen to the way they are, the great leaders, the great people, the motivational speakers, all these people, how they give their speeches. Okay, so we can watch their speeches, we can analyze. Analyze means we can find out, we can gauge that what are the things which have made their speech attractive, what are the things which have made their speech hook, what are the elements that have made their speech hooking for the audience. So all those things can be incorporated. So we can watch the speeches, and then we can identify the effective techniques which have been used in their speech, and we can learn from skilled speakers. Then second thing is that we can learn. We can learn means from this recorded speeches also, and we can learn from live speeches also. Means the people who give speeches, we can talk to them also, and we can take their help also. The people who are live speakers. So in both the cases, we can take help. Then the next is join a public speaking group. There are these days, there are lot of classes which are going on. There are short-term courses going on which help people to learn public speaking, to master communication skills, to help them learn presentation skills. So these are small courses which are going on in different education institutes also, and they are online also, and they are in some cities there are small companies which have introduced these courses, so which can help people to which help people to enhance their public speaking skills. So we can join. So the benefits of joining a group like Toastmasters. So there are different public speaking groups, and we can join them, and they can be online also and offline also. And we can give our presentations. We can give our presentations in front of them, and they will help us tell that what are the shortcomings. They will help us realize the shortcomings of the presentations, and accordingly they would suggest the ways how we can improve upon it. Then the second is receiving constructive feedbacks. That is, receiving constructive feedbacks. We need to get a constructive feedback. Means it's not that people who are just sitting, like some friends are there who are, some people are there who would listen and they say, yes, it's right, it's correct, whatever you're saying is fine. No, we want actually critics. We want critics who can highlight the mistakes which I am making. It is not, I would like to have such a person sit in front of me who would actually analyze my presentation, my speech, and point out the mistakes. Because what is good, that is okay, that I know. Means that fleetingly or in a light mode they can say that yeah, this is okay. So that I don't delete on those portions. But then what are my shortcomings? That is something which they need to emphasize upon. My shortcomings, that what are my shortcomings. So I need critics who would listen to my speech and who would tell me, means who would give me a constructive feedback. The feedback that would be helpful to improve my speech or presentation. Then once again. Welcome to my class. In today's session, this is a very general topic, common conversation, but it holds importance in communication. So let me first introduce myself. I am Dr. Vandana Vik. I am working as a professor in Tirthankar Mahavir University and I am placed at the Management College, Tirthankar Mahavir Institute of Management and Technology, Varadkar. This is a series of sessions in which we people are discussing about effective communication. Right? And a part of effective communication and the speaking skills, we have common conversation. Now, what is a common conversation? Common conversation is like when we are talking to somebody for a short period of time or in an informal setting. These conversations are like very casually. They are very casual and very short for a short period of time. So such conversations, they are called common conversations, and these are the conversations which all of us at one point of time is at somewhere here and there we come across. So these are what a general idea about common conversation, and we are going to delve into deep details about it. But first of all, let me tell you what will be the learning outcomes. That means what the learners will gain after going through this session. That means the learners, they will be, first of all, they will be able to understand the concept of common conversation. They will be able to know what are the etiquettes, means what etiquette should be followed while conversing with the common people or in general when we are conversing. Then how to ask open-ended questions and improve the ability to express opinions and develop confidence. Means we develop confidence means the learner will be able to develop confidence in order to talk to anyone. Now, after this, we have the table of contents. That is, what are the broad categories which we will be discussing under the heading that is common conversation. That means introduction to common conversation, then the role of conversations in our day-to-day life, then the key concepts of conversations, and then common pitfalls to avoid, then types of common conversation, then elements of a good conversation, and we have the conclusion. So there are points which we will be delving in detail. In detail we will be discussing about these points. So the first is, what is common conversation? Common conversation refers to everyday verbal interactions that occur between people. That means everyday. Means like I am going out and somebody stops me and says, "Ma'am, what is the time like?" So I said like it's 2:50. It is 2:30. So that is what, this is a way of conversation. I am going to a new place and I seek somebody's help for directions. So I give my address and I say that which place? Okay, he says that go right, and from right to go left. Then I'll ask him how much right, means how much yards should I go, or how much meters should I move forward, and then I have to turn right, and from there, where is there any landmark that where I have to turn left. So this is a conversation which will be categorized under common conversation. Like I speak to a vegetable vendor, I want to buy vegetables, and I ask the vegetable vendor that what is the price of tomatoes, and he says that it is 40 rupees kg. I said 40 rupees, yesterday they were 25, or last time when I purchased 2 or 3 days ago they were 25, but now they are 40. So he says that it is because of the inflation the prices have changed. I said how so much prices, means 15 rupees per kg in 3 days. So this kind of conversation is also called common conversation. So I think now you have been clear with the concept that what I meant by common conversation. So these are common conversations. A common conversation is the interaction typically in an informal or informal manner, when we are greeting somebody, when we are talking to somebody, when we discuss people with people about their personal interests, about their habits, or the activities, the daily activities, that these basically focus on all these, the habits, the daily activities, the routine of a person. So, or greeting a person, knowing about a person, all these things come under the category of common conversation. And the purpose of this common conversation is to establish and maintain social relationships. Means when we want to establish, that obviously when wherever I live, means my neighbor, like going out, coming in, we both like when we meet, we say all good, how's life? He'll say all good. So he says, what about you? I say fine, everything is fine. So this is a kind of conversation which we hold. So this is basically, it is that maybe I am not very much interested to know how his life is or what is happening in his life, but that is just a way to of greeting and keeping a contact or keeping a touch with a person, because of with a neighbor specifically. Because when if we interact, if we meet the neighbors and if we don't talk, then it appears to be very rude, means that develops a distance between the neighbors, which shouldn't be there. So these casual talks, they are categorized under common conversation. And these small conversations, they help in building relationships. Now there are certain examples that what our common conversations are, what kind of common conversations are there, or which conversations fall under the category of common conversations. That is, we can say greetings and small talk. Means when we greet somebody, hello, how are you doing? He also says, hi, fine. You're returning from the college? Yes. So this is what means greeting and just knowing about somebody, or a small talk means, oh, it's so hot. Yeah, I meet a neighbor and I meet somebody in the street, somebody I know, and I say, oh, it's so hot. So he says that yes, there was a forecast that the weather will change from today, but there hasn't any change. Oh, I heard somewhere that it is going to be the monsoon. Monsoon is awaited by Monday, means the next week. So these kind of conversations, they are small talk or they are simple common, a part of common conversation. Then it is, hi, how are you? That is, I am good, thank you. How about you? So this is a common conversation. Then asking for directions. I just mentioned that when I am on road and I am going to a new place and I need to ask directions from someone. So that is also a way of common conversation. Then there are some other things also, common conversation. That means some other examples of common conversations. That is, going to a restaurant means food at a restaurant. When we go to a restaurant and the food, like we order food, or we say it's really we order food, or we say I did like to order the grilled chicken, and the other person says okay, I think that's fine with me, or what would you like to have? These kind of conversations. Then we have discussing the weather, this I have already discussed, and there are making plans. When is your summer vacation beginning? Oh, it's beginning from next week. Okay, what are your plans? Okay, where are you planning to go? So I'll say, like right now there is no plan. Okay, so then what about you? We are going to Nainital. So this is also a form of common conversation. Now after this we come to the introduction to common conversations. Now the introduction part means how we need to know a little more about the introduction. That is, exploring the art of everyday conversations. Means everyday conversation means we need to explore, we need to find out that how we should speak to people. Then the importance of effective communication in social context. That means common conversations, they tell us that how in social context, these small conversations, the communication with people, how it holds a very important position. That is just when I gave you an example of my neighbor that I and my neighbor met on the gates, like he was on his gate and I was on my gate, and like one was going out and one was going in. So we had a conversation. So these conversations, they maintain a friendly relationship, a small bonding between the neighbors. So if that means if we don't converse this much also, like otherwise if we are in a hurry, it could be just a smile. Okay, but then we had to interact, because if we don't interact, then what happens? That it appears to be very rude and impolite, and then slowly and gradually it breaks the relationship. Then after this we have what we have to discuss is importance of effective communication in professional context. Means these common communication conversations, they help us to understand. Means there it is not only the informal setting, in the professional background also, in the professional arena also, there is a scope for common conversation. There is scope for common conversation. That is like when there are so many faculty members in the college, and not means I'm not intimate or I'm not close to everybody, but just we are passing, oh, that work is done, yeah, it's done, because some assignment which has given, how much have you done in that assignment, or is that, were you able to understand what we have to do. So these kind of fleeting talks, they come under the category of common conversation, and they hold lot of importance. Then communication skills, they also promote personal relationships and communication skills. Means common conversation, they all are dependent upon communication skills, that how we communicate, and our relationship with people at in the professional arena, at the workplace, that also changes with the way we communicate with them. Now the second thing we will discuss is role of conversations. What is the role of conversations? Mean conversations are the cornerstone. Conversations as the cornerstone of human interaction. Cornerstone means the foundation. Means with small these common conversations, they are the foundation stone of relationships. Means we start interacting with people with these small kind of conversations, and then slowly and gradually if we gel, if the wavelength matches, then we can become good friends also, or good colleagues also. Means we can develop a good relationship with each other. So these common conversations, they are a cornerstone. Then they provide opportunities for connecting with people. That means when we speak to people, then we get an opportunity to know more new people, to connect with people, and this can lead to collaborations also, because slowly the things develop. And then understanding, it improves in understanding and enhances social and professional bonds through conversations. Means social and professional bonds between people can be cemented, can be fixed with the help of these common conversations. Now, what are the key concepts? The key concepts of common conversation. The key concept is like active listening as a foundation skill. Means active listening is one of the, what is the key concept? Common conversations are dependent on active listening, because if somebody is speaking and I am not listening, I will never ever develop a bond with that person. Maybe even if there is a bond, it can lead to breakage. Then empathy in understanding others. Means empathy is also very important, because when you are speaking to somebody, then you need to understand the position in which the other person is, and then only it can be the position in which the other person is, and then only you will be able to understand the mindset of the person. Then assertiveness in expressing oneself. Means we should be polite. What is assertiveness? Means in professional world and in conversations, communication skills, we talk a lot about assertiveness. Being assertive is good, and it is something. This is a thing which is very important in the professional world, because assertiveness means we have to be assertive for anything. Means one thing is politeness and the other is rudeness. So in between politeness and rudeness, we have this assertive, the element of assertiveness. So polite means like when a person is overly sweet and weak, and means anybody can overrule that person. And being rude is like you nullify everything. The person nullifies everything what the other person is trying to speak, and means with arrogance we nullify. So in that case, in that level, there is a midpoint between politeness and rudeness. There is a midpoint, and that midpoint is assertiveness. Assertiveness means being polite but firm. Means we have to be polite but firm. Then we have that this shows that yes, politely we put forward our point, but then we don't we cannot be overruled by the other person. we are very firm on our particular point. Then conflict resolution for productive outcomes, and then we have integrating these concepts, conflict resolution. All the conflicts can be resolved on a dining table. We can say that big conflicts can be resolved over a cup of tea. That is, big conflicts can be resolved just by speaking. So leave aside those big conflicts. In the conflicts which we have with people in our personal life, they get enhanced or they get boosted up, they get a boost when we are not talking with the people. But if a small hello, hi, a small message, a small word that can lead to a strong relationship. So all these key concepts means if we integrate these key concepts, they can be for effective communication, and effective communication can lead to good relationships. Now we have active listening. Now these key concepts, I am going to discuss these key concepts in detail. These key concepts, first is active listening, because fully concentrate on the speaker. Active listening means like if even my closest of my friend, who is my friend for the last 25 or 30 years or 25 years, if she comes and she speaks to me something and I say, like she says, listen, I am in a lot of trouble, this is the problem which has occurred and you know what, and then she says, you suggest what should I do? And I say, oh, I'm sorry I didn't listen. What did you say? I'm sorry I did not listen. So she will be the one who will be most bugged up and most irritated. Then next time she says, listen, can you suggest something? I said, oh, what? Suggest what? So she will understand that I am not paying attention to what she is speaking. So such situations, if they are repetitive, then the relationship can break. That is, that the relationship between strong friends, strong relationship between friends can also break. So active listening is the key. Means we need to listen, whether it is a professional field or it is a personal field, whatever. When somebody is talking to us, we actually need to pay attention and we need to listen. That is called active listening. Then maintain eye contact. Maintain eye contact with the person whom you are speaking to. And then nod. Even if you are not responding, it should be like nodding. Means nodding shows that yes, you are listening what the person is saying. Then ask clarifying questions. Means if there are some questions on my part, I should ask questions. So this active listening, it enhances communication. Then empathy and understanding. The empathy and understanding means that when we need to put ourselves in the shoes of the other person, okay, and that is called empathy. Means when we try to put ourselves in the position of the other person and then we understand the person, that is called empathy and understanding. That is, means understand and share the feelings of others. Means we should understand, we should share the feeling of others and acknowledge the perception of the other person. That is actually what is empathy. That we acknowledge. Means if somebody is saying that I am in pain, I got hurt and I am in pain, then we should also realize that what was the situation, in which situation that person was hurt. And then like if I would have been hurt in that way, then I also would have felt that pain. So that is called empathy. Then respond with compassion. Then we need to, if we understand, if we feel the pain of the other person or the problem of the other person, then we need to respond accordingly. Then empathy strengthens relationship. Like if we empathize with somebody, this strengthens our relationship. And if we can understand the pain of the other person, then are stronger. And all these things, active listening, empathy, all these things, how they are helpful to us in our common conversations. Then assertiveness. Assertiveness means express thoughts clearly and respectfully, and then maintain a confident demeanor. Means be confident. Don't be balanced between politeness and rudeness. Don't be too polite so that anybody can overrule you, and don't be that rude that people don't like speaking to you. Then after this we have the conflict resolution. That is, what is the conflict resolution? That is address conflicts conflicts constructively. Don't take conflicts to the heart. Don't take means conflict arises because of difference of opinion. Conflict arises when we are not communicating with the other person. So in such case, we should disagree with the reason, means the point on which the conflict is, but not with the person, because there is no reason to disagree with the person. Then compromise can resolve conflicts. Then conflict resolution, it enhances cooperation, and practicing healthy conflict resolution is a must. Now next is practical tips for effective conversations. Means these are some practical tips for effective conversations. Means how we can make our conversations effective. First is be present in conversation. That means you have to be active. Like I said, active listener. You have to listen carefully and you have to respond to the person carefully. Then avoid distraction. Don't be distracted. Like when my friend needs to share something with me, or my friend is talking to me maybe about anything, or any person is speaking and the phone rings. So obviously the person will not be interested to speak. So try to avoid distractions when you are having conversations. Then show genuine interest and value the words of other people. Means you show interest in what the other person is trying to say. If the person is asking you where is the direction and you are listening, you are looking here and there and you are listening to somebody else, or you are not paying attention, so the person will just walk off. He will not distract. He will not pay attention to you anymore. Then building meaningful connections, means these things, they help in common conversations, can help in building meaningful connections. Means sometimes a small conversation which started in a train journey or on a bus seat can lead to lifelong friendships. Now how do we practice empathy? That is, put yourself in other person's shoes, acknowledge the person's emotions, then validate other person's experiences. What the other person is trying to say, we should value it, and then empathy in everyday. We should develop empathy in everyday interaction. Means even if it is the people whom we are meeting every day, like the maid in my house, or the guard of my college, or somebody, like if somebody is trying to discuss, or somebody is trying to tell you something, give a patient hearing and empathize with the person. Then communicate assertively. Means this we have already discussed, that communicate assertively with your voice also, words also, and your body also. Voice means your voice should be assertive. Then your body language means it should not be lanky panky or the lazy songs. Alright, and it is like your voice should also be assertive. Means your words, voice and body language, these three should be in coordination with each other. Respect other people's boundaries, but assert your own boundaries. We need to respect other people's boundaries, but we need to assert our own boundaries also. And this assertiveness and respect both should be well balanced. Then application exercises for active listening, because we have been talking about active listening. That is, practice with a friend or colleague. That active listening, some people actually have problem with active listening. Means they cannot stick to one particular point. They cannot hear attentively, because there are students also in classes who have this attention seeking problem also, and attention deficit problem also. So some people they have, so we need to practice active listening with, like we can practice it on own also, and we can practice it with the friends also. Like friends can help us, or otherwise like we can listen to a clipping, a news clipping, or some clipping on the online, some clipping, and then they can see that whether what is the thing which we are able to understand or retain. Then nod, summarize key points, that nod to the person, keep eye contact. So all these things are there in application exercises for assertive learning. Now empathy. Empathy means empathy building. So there are certain exercises for empathy building also. That is, reflect on recent interactions. Please reflect on the recent interaction with the people. Then consider other person's perspective also. Give importance to the other person's perspective also. Empathize with the other person. If the person is in problem, if the person is in trouble, then empathize with the other person. We should not be rude. We should not laugh at the other person. And then acknowledge other person's needs. Then assertive communication practice. Assertive communication practice. That means identify situations to assert yourself. Means identify situations. It's not that in all the conditions we are being assertive. No, there has to be certain situations where our viewpoint is not given importance, or our thoughts are being overruled by others, thoughts or ideas are being overruled by others. There only we need to practice assertiveness. Then use assertive language and body language both. And most important thing is that respect the boundaries of others, but don't let anybody cross your boundaries also. Then we have common pitfalls to avoid. The common pitfalls to avoid are interrupting others during conversation. These are some very important common pitfalls. Means when somebody is speaking, what do we know? We try to overspeak. Means we do not allow the other person to complete his point or his idea or his thought, and we cut him in between, we block his words in between, and we start speaking. This is something which is very, very bad for a conversation. Means nobody would like to speak to a person who doesn't give leverage to independence to the other person, to the speaker, to complete his viewpoint. Then over talking and dominating discussions. Means we should not keep on over talking. Means questioning myself. Means when I question and I answer. Means the person across is sitting. Means the question is meant to be answered by the other person, but if I am the speaker and I am questioning and I am giving my answer, then so the other person would not be interested. And we try to dominate the people, that my viewpoint only is right. Such things also should be avoided, because we need to give leverage, we need to give importance to everybody for their viewpoints. That whatever they are speaking, everybody has, there is difference of opinion, and everybody's points are of value and of importance. Then lack of empathy means we do not empathize. We do not try to understand the situation of the other person. And then avoiding conflicts and recognizing and avoiding common pitfalls. And what we do is that we need to and we try to avoid conflicts. We shouldn't get into heated discussions with anybody. We shouldn't get into heated discussions, because heated discussions lead to difference of opinion, and difference of opinions can distance two close friends also. So now after this we have avoiding interruptions. Now we have discussed that we shouldn't block the person. Means block the idea or the words of the person across whom we are speaking to, of the speaker. So avoiding interruption means practice patience in conversation. Means we should practice patience. Means we should patiently listen to what the person across needs to say, what he has to say. Let him first finish his viewpoint, let him first complete his sentence, and then we can put forward our view. So for this we need to practice patience. Then wait for your turn to speak. That is exactly what, that first let the person finish up his work and then speak. Then interruptions hinder effective communication. Obviously, common conversations cannot take place. If I know that in my college there is a person who will not during a conversation, he would not allow me to speak. Obviously, I would not like to converse with that person. So such things, what do they lead? They lead to bad name, and they lead to blockage of relation. That means whatever time the other person speaks, means how much, whatever time the other person speaks for, like we have to be patient and we have to listen. Let him complete what he is trying to say. Now after this we have balancing conversation space. Means we need to balance the conversation space, that is avoid dominating the conversation. Means space in the conversation, means if I have spoken, I should wait for the other person to speak. Let the person complete his viewpoint. Practice active listening. Practice active listening means like listen to others carefully so that you can answer. Otherwise, you yourself will be in a humiliating position, because when the other person asks you something, then you will be embarrassed. Then allow of others to share their views also. Then balance speaking and listening roles, means balance. If you are speaking, take time to listen also. If you are listening, then you should take time to speak also. Means balance both. If you are only speaker, then you will then all the listeners will run away. And if you are only listener, then nobody will like to speak to you. That it is a monologue going on. So it has to be a dialogue between two people. Then creating a collaborative environment, means we need to create an environment where we can collaborate with each other, coordinate with each other. Cultivating empathy. Actively listen to others, means like empathy I am speaking a number of times, because sometimes it happens, like I see that our faculty member or a teacher in my college, she came with a plaster in her hand. I don't know her, but then when we are going, we cross roads while going for the classes, then I say, hello, hi, what happened? What happened to you? And she will say, like, I fell down from the Activa. Oh my God, it was on the road, I fell down with this hand underneath. And then I said, oh my God, it would have been very painful. She says, yes. Then how long is the plaster for? And she'll say like 1.5 months. So that's all. This is a common conversation, that's all. But this is that I am showing empathy to her. I am showing empathy to her, that she is in trouble and I am just asking. Okay, so this is one thing which is very important for at the humanitarian grounds. Then we need to respond also with understanding. Means sometimes somebody is in trouble and somebody seeks my help, or some means I know that some lady, she is going through a rough phase, of some colleague, she is going through a rough phase of life. Then I need to consider, means there can be mood swings also. So she can be rough also, or maybe she can simply she can give me a rude reply also. But then I need to understand. Then show compassionate interactions and building empathetic relationships. So we need to show compassion towards the other person. Then addressing conflict respectfully, means if there is any conflict between two people, then we need to address that conflict respectfully. It's not that we will go and we will fight with each other, but we need to address the conflicts respectfully. That is, avoiding conflicts can lead to unsolved issues. Means if sometimes it happens that just to keep a good relationship, what I do is that I do not reply to the person. Maybe she is my friend, I do not reply to her. So long time, if the same practice continues, then there won't be a conflict, but there will be a coldness and distancing in relationship. So sometimes conflicts are important also. Then they shouldn't be avoided. But after the conflict, the conflict shouldn't be kept for a long time. They should be resolved also immediately. Then address conflicts openly. Then seek mutually acceptable solutions. Means first of all address the conflicts, and then at mutual level they should be resolved. Then practice respectful conflict resolution. Means all the conflicts, they shouldn't be resolved in a bitter manner. They can resolved in a simple manner also. Now practice with a friend or colleague, then use active listening skills, then empathy, employ empathy, then assertiveness and the role play. So all these things, how conflict resolution role play can take place. Then we have networking event practice. Networking event means how we can create a network of people. How we can converse means engage in small or common conversation with new people, and then we can build with new acquaintances, and we can slowly and gradually build relationship. Means with a person, with a colleague who is a new person in the college, then if he is coming, means we both cross each other going for the classes, then it can be simply hi, hello, or it can be good morning, and after some time we can see that with this small conversation we can develop a relationship, a strong bond between us. Then practice active listening. Then active listening is the key for conversation or communication, because if active listening is not there, then obviously there is no communication. Then use open-ended questions, means the questions shouldn't be restricted, means we should not look forward to the answers. Means if I ask somebody what do you like to eat, so it is not that I should expect that the person would like to eat fast food only. No, the person can choose anything. It can be anything. So this is one just example that we should be open with the questions, and open-ended questions mean that there can be a number of answers to that. So our questions shouldn't be restricted. Our questions should be open-ended. Now building new connections through conversations and applying conversational skills in networking means we can build new relationships with conversations, and we can apply these conversational skills for networking. Now reflective journaling. This is another thing, that is record daily interactions and conversation. That means we need to put them in, we need to note down with us. Then reflect on communication strengths and weaknesses. Means what if I had a conversation with somebody, then what was the conversation like? What were the weaknesses? Means just we finished at 2 sentences, how are you, how's life, or hello, good morning. There is also the conversation can finish off, or we stepped forward and we asked for 1 or 2 more lines. How's your brother doing, or how's your sister, where do you belong to? These are some small questions of common conversation. So we need to see that where our conversations finish off. Like if they are some formal they are some conversations like somebody asking the time, or somebody asking the direction on the roadside. Obviously there we don't need to means give more time to such conversations, but the conversations which are with the people, means a new neighbor has arrived or somebody new has shifted to your street. So such kind of people we can start with these small conversations so that we can develop relationships. Then identify areas for improvement and see goals for enhancing communication. Means we can see that what are the areas where we can improve, what more questions we can ask. Means we have to be very careful. Like if I need to become friendly with a new colleague, then obviously straightforward I won't go to her desk and I'll just start digging in for information from her. No, it would be only that I'll first start with common conversation, and slowly and gradually every day or now and then asking 1 question or 2 questions, and this way I'll improve the relationship. Now we come to the most important point, that is types of common conversations. What are the different types of common conversations? Means one was the way, means what are the questions that can be asked in the common conversations, and now what are the different types of common conversation. That means they are of 2 types, that is casual small talk and social chit chat, and the other one is structured, that is discussion and debates. So common conversations can be of 2 types. One is casual conversations and one are structured conversations. The casual conversations are when we are talking to people, simple chit chat, simple asking about some small talk means small questions, and the structured ones are discussions and debates.
Now the first one is casual. The first one is social conversation. Now the social conversation, it is a casual chit chat. Alright, like it is like when I am talking to a friend, means with a friend, or if even she's a friend and in the morning we are running for the class and say, oh hi, is everything okay? Yeah, it's okay. Did the problem, yesterday's problem get resolved? Yes, it got resolved. No, it didn't. So finish, this is it. Then there is small talk. Small talk means discussing the weather or recent news with a stranger. Means when we are discussing, first one was small talk, that was catching up with a friend, and the second is that was a casual chat, that was catching up with a friend, and now this is a small talk when we are talking to a stranger regarding they are discussing weather. That is another example of small talk. Then professional conversation. Now professional conversation, it is number 2 is professional conversation. There are meetings. Means in the meetings means discussing projects, progress, or brainstorming ideas with the colleagues. So this is a professional conversation in the meetings. Then interviews means when we are answering questions, the questions which have been asked to us and we are answering those questions. And then now is networking, means when we are trying to introducing yourself to the people, to some new people, the people who are new. So they are called some new people. When we introduce ourselves, when we talk to them, that is called for networking. Now after professional communication, we have transactional conversations. The transactional conversations are like customer service. When we call or we receive a call from some customer service asking like, okay, you are using Geo service, so Geo phone service, so how is your Geo service going on? Or if you are using Airtel this internet, so how is your Airtel internet working? So these kind of conversations, that means when we are talking to customer service, or if I have any complaints regarding or any issues regarding any product that I am using, then or any service that I am using, then I will speak to the customer service. Then we have making reservations, means booking a table at a hotel. So we talk to a person. Or scheduling a doctor's appointment. When we want to fix an appointment with the doctor, then we speak to the secretary or administration in charge, or whosoever the person, or receptionist at the doctor. So, and then we have such kind of conversations, they take place at restaurants, clinics, hotels. Then the next one is informative conversations. Informative conversations. The informative conversations are like giving directions. When we give directions to the people, these conversations, they are like at home or at workplace. When we give directions to the people, that yes, like do this, means complete this work and send the file to so and so person. So that kind of conversation, information, when we try to give information to people, that is giving directions or providing instructions. Means when we give instructions that this file you have to prepare like that. So that is giving instructions. Then after this we have supportive conversations. Supporting conversations, the example is like personal relationships. When we have conversations in personal relationships, that is, first is counseling. Means when we try to counsel, when we listen to somebody and try to give answers to the problems or to the situations or whatever they are asking, or advice whatever they are asking for. And this can be therapy sessions also, informal support among friends. Means informal support among friends, or there can be therapy sessions, means the counseling which is done by the trained counselors. Then comforting, means when we offer words of sympathy to friends or relatives or neighbors or colleagues. That is comforting a person, when we try to comfort a person. Then the next one is negotiation and persuasion. Means when we try to negotiate with something, means when we are negotiating, means if I have to buy 1 kg of rice and I negotiate with the person across, so that is also a form of common conversation. Or when we are trying to persuade a person, means I am trying to persuade a student that please you have to join this course, so that is called persuasive conversation. We can say that sales means when we convince a customer to purchase a product, or otherwise that is conflict resolution. That means when there is some disagreement at people between among the, on the workplace, means it can be something with me also, or it can be between two of my colleagues also. So then when I try to resolve the issue. Then instructional conversations mean the conversations which means when somebody gives you instructions like do this, do that. So that kind of conversation is instructional conversation. The example, it can be at workplace also, or it can be at profession. So these are like teaching. When explaining a concept, when the teacher explains a concept or a skill to a student in the classroom or in the training sessions. Then mentoring means provide guidance and advice to students. Then planning and decision making. Planning and decision making, that is family discussions, means when we sit with the family and then we discuss with each other regarding some plan, means we are making a plan for the holiday, means let's go there or let's go there. So this is that is called planning. Planning a family vacation or discussing some household issue with the family members or responsibilities with the family members. Then group planning means in an organization or community event, when we are planning for an event, when we are planning to organize an event, or we are planning to organize a trip for the students. So that kind of discussion that comes under this category. Then we have expressive conversations. Expressive conversations means that is sharing feelings. When we want to share our feelings with others, or maybe someone else wants to share his feelings with me. That is discussing emotions or experiences. Then it is storytelling also, means narrating a story, narrating a personal experience or a fictional story. Means if I have read a novel, or if I have seen a movie and then I tell my friend, okay, this movie was very interesting, or this book is very interesting, so she just tell me about that book. And then when I am narrating some main incidents, or I am narrating the whole story, that is called, that comes under the category of expressive conversations. Then we have feedback and evaluation, means the conversations, the common conversations which are linked to the feedback and which are linked to evaluation. Performance review, that whether some particular service has been done perfectly or not, and what are the views. Then discussing an employer's performance. And then we have critique sessions, means providing constructive criticism, means providing constructive criticism on a project. So these conversations come under the category of feedback and evaluation. Now what I would like to tell you is that common conversations are not restricted only to those simple things, hi, hello, how are you, telling the direction or discussing a weather. No, these all conversations also come under the category of common conversations. So I think it means we have come to know through this that common conversations is a long list, means only hi, hello, two line sentences, two sentence conversations are not do not fall under the category of common conversation. Then now we are going to discuss what are the elements of common conversation, of a good conversation. That is active listening, turn taking, clarity and relevance. Now we will see all these in detail. That is active listening, full attention. Active listening means we pay full attention to means our ears are completely there, what the person is trying to say. Then eye contact, maintain complete eye contact, means we have to look, when we are talking to somebody, we have to look in the eyes of the other person, because not looking in the eyes of the other person will reflect that we are not interested in the conversation. Then verbal acknowledgements, that means either it is the signals which we give, like nodding of the head, like nodding in affirmation or nodding in negation, whatever is there. So that is signal acknowledgement, or otherwise yes, these kind of voices which we make, so they are verbal acknowledgements. So the other person knows that yes, I am, that the listener is listening. Now what is the importance of this turn taking? Turn taking is that speaking on their own terms, right? First the speaker will speak, then the listener will speak. Then when the listener has finished, means A person will speak and the B will listen. Then B will speak, reply, respond, and A will listen. Then A will respond and B will listen. So this is turn taking. Means we have to speak on our turns only. It is not that we overrule what the other person is trying to say, or we block the sentences or the conversation what the other person is speaking, and we just start speaking and speaking. So this way the other person will lose, and there will be lose interest in talking to you, and then there won't be any conversation. There will always be a monologue going on, that you are talking and the other person is listening. He is there, he is present there, whether listening or not. Because then people make up the mind that he has the habit of only speaking. He doesn't have the patience to listen, or he doesn't allow anybody else to speak. So these kind of thinking is formed. So avoid share conversation space and avoid monopolizing. Means you should not be there to it should be not one person's monopoly. Conversation means equal space to both the people. Both of them should have equal chance to speak. The next is speaking with clarity and relevance. That is, speaking with clarity and relevance means stay on topic. That means stay on the topic means whatever you have started discussing, stick to that. It's not that you jump to 1, 2, 3 or 4 topics. So the listener will not be able to understand that where to reply, what to speak, and which one to give priority. Then ensure contributions are relevant. So this is something which is very, very important, that we should speak, whatever we are speaking, that should be relevant, that should be genuine, not fake things. Because if you start using you start using fake descriptions or fake examples, then obviously people will find out very quickly, and then they won't be interested to speak. Then the next is common topics in conversation. So what are the common topics in conversation? That is, safe topics are when we are talking to strangers, then the safe topic is like weather, sports, hobbies, entertainment, right? Or that is the safe topic, right? And deeper topics are like when you are a little acclimatized with somebody, or when you are you know a person a little, then you can discuss about personal experiences on something, or their opinions or their goals. So these are some common conversation topics. Now there are certain things that I would like to highlight, like cultural considerations in conversation. Means these things are very important, because if cultural considerations cultural differences are not considered, then good relationships also break. Means when we are talking to the other person, we need to pay attention to the culture, to the religion of the person. Let's say my friend, she likes to eat rice with hand in place of spoon. Okay, so what will I say? Like, I see so many people, they eat rice with hand and they are such dirty people, like it's muck. No, this will be horrendous, because my friend, I'm speaking these sentences, I'm speaking this, I'm giving my opinion to my friend who loves eating rice with hand. So that would be very offensive. So we need to respect the habits, the cultures, the thought process and the religion of the other person. They should be given good consideration. respect cultural norms and etiquettes, and then be aware of sensitive or taboo topics. Means somebody with whom you are, somebody you know that let's say I favor one political party and one of my neighbor he favors another political party. So then we shouldn't ever discuss on the politics topic, specifically on the parties, because that will lead to disagreement, and disagreement will lead to dislike for each other. So such taboo topics shouldn't be, such topics should not be picked up in common conversation. Then now challenges in conversation. Now what are the challenges that we people are facing in conversations? What are the challenges which are faced by people? Means why common conversations, simple conversations are falter somewhere, or they are not successful, or they are not good at making relationships. So what are the challenges that we encounter in conversations? First is misunderstandings and disagreements. So what is it? Misunderstanding. There are lot of misunderstandings, right? And disagreement, like misunderstanding regarding which, like supposing my close friend, she has heard something and she has come to know that I have spoken something bad about her. So that is going to be a misunderstanding, right? So mitigating misunderstanding, removing these misunderstandings, clarifying these misunderstandings are a must. Then ask clarifying questions and rephrase statements. Means ask questions from them, that why the other person has said, or why, and give clarifications. If somebody is asking you like why you said this, then you should also give your clarification. So either ask questions or give clarifications and get over the misunderstanding. Then now don't let a simple misunderstanding spoil your relationships. Then handling disagreements respectfully. Means handling disagreements respectfully means if the difference of opinion should always be addressed respectfully. Everybody has their right to put forward their opinion. So everybody's opinion should be given equal respect. So there shouldn't be any disagreement. That means even if we disagree about a topic, maybe I feel that winter is very good. Alright, and my friend feels that no, winter is awful. So that doesn't mean that we should disagree, means we should respect each other's point of view. We shouldn't disagree. That I say no, winter is very good, you also need to say that winter is very good. No, it's not. We should respect each other's point of view, and we should respect disagreement also. Now improving conversational skills. Conversation skills means how we can improve these conversation skills. Obviously practice active listening. Enough we have spoken about active listening, that obviously it will be pay attention to what the other person is saying, then only the other person will say. Being inattentive will stop the other person to speak. Then enhance vocabulary means our vocabulary should be enhanced. Means we need to enhance vocabulary, because there are certain words which might not be there in my vocabulary, which I might not be able to understand, or the words which I might not be able to understand, and obviously I won't be able to reply. And if I don't reply, obviously the other person will not speak, if his questions are not, or her questions are not answered. Use body language in a positive manner. Means body language in a positive manner. That means our body language should show, means what we are speaking, it should not be different. It should not be different. That what we are speaking and what we are feeling, that should be the same. And what we feel is reflected by our body. Active listening practice. How do we do that active listening practice? That is, focus on the speaker and summarize their points. You need to focus on the speaker. Then enhancing vocabulary means vocabulary enhancing can be done. Read and learn new words. Means read and learn new words, and if somebody has spoken anything, then we need to find out. Means if a person is from Gujarati culture, so obviously he would, and she is my corporate,
Gujarati words in her, she will obviously use, not try to incorporate, she will use Gujarati words in her spoken in her language. So then we need to, like, I also need to, if I want, means I can also learn those Gujarati words and I can understand. So I mean, this is just a simple example, but like some colleague has some good English, or she has a good vocabulary, then we also need to learn new words and enhance our vocabulary. Then positive body language, that I said, that the gestures, the gestures, the facial expressions that I use, that they all, and the posture, it all should be open. Means my facial expressions means I make a sulking face and I say I'm very happy. So this is, and I'm very happy. So this is something which is opposite. So our facial expressions, our body language should be positive. Asking open-ended questions means encourage detailed responses and keep conversations. Means open-ended questions, the questions which can be answered in a lengthy manner, and the questions which can be answered differently also. So after this we have done active listening practice. Now after active listening practice is conversation etiquettes. Conversation etiquettes means politeness and respectful disagreement. Politeness, conversation etiquettes means we should be polite and respectful, means if we disagree with the other person, then also we have to be respectful and we have to be polite. It's not that if the other person doesn't agree with my point of view, then I start bitching about the other person, or I start speaking negative, or start giving negative looks, or my facial expressions change, or I use taunting or sarcastic words. It shouldn't be there. Then use polite expressions and be considerate. Then respectful disagreement techniques, that is agree to disagree without escalating tensions, means we should do it in such a polite manner that it should not escalate tension. Enhancing communication through practice. Enhancing communication through practice, that is the importance of regular practice. The importance of regular means we need to enhance communication through regular practice, means practice conversation, the importance of regular practice. Then role playing different scenarios, then we can role play different scenarios, means like if I meet my director sir, how am I going to speak with him? If I have to ask any question, then we can role play before. If I am not confident, like going into his office and asking him certain questions, if I need to put forward something or have a conversation with about something with him, then I can role play and practice it beforehand. Then seeking feedback from others, means get feedback. Feedback is very important, it plays a very important role. So seek feedback from whomsoever is your confidant, and seek feedback, and that's there, then we can make changes. You can make changes in your conversations or role play. Reflecting on communication experiences. Then continuous improvement through practice, means improvement can be made through practice, means practice makes a man perfect. Then adapting to different communication settings. This is also one thing, that when we need to adapt ourselves to different communication settings, that is recognizing unique challenges in various settings, means there can be different ways, there can be different things where we have to hold conversation. So we need to adapt ourselves to the different situations. Then adapting to formal and informal context, means there are sometimes, means I go to a party and there I meet somebody. So that is I don't know the people, then how I am going to hold conversation with them, or I go to a party where I don't know anybody. So how I will hold conversation with other people. So formal and informal context means how we will adapt ourselves to the situations. Then balancing professionalism and approachability, means this is something which is the need of the hour. Balance professionalism, means we need to be professional also and we need to be approachable also, means that we talk to people like that they don't take you for granted, and and you do not cross the limits of the official arena. So what is it? Being professional, that is being in your limits and following a proper decorum, that is being professional. So being professional as well as approachable. Then effective communication in meetings and presentations and navigating social interactions outside of working place. That means how we can communicate outside the working place. The power of silence. Yes, silence is powerful. The way speech is powerful, in the same manner silence is also powerful. Means at some places, at some times, keeping quiet can resolve big differences and big quarrels. Understanding the impact of silence in conversation means you need to learn that which place you should be silent. Means where silence is, if we say speech is silver, silence is gold. So where silence works as gold. Then using pauses to enhance communication. Silence is important to enhance the communication also. Means when you pause at a particular place where you want to lay stress upon. Then requesting quiet moments for reflection. Means requesting quiet moments for reflection means when you are quiet, you can reflect on what is happening, what is going on, what the other person has said and how you have replied. Then allowing space for others to think and respond. Means what we do is that we respect, if we are silent, then that means we are giving a chance to the other person also to reflect upon and to think and then answer. So silence needs to be answered very, silence needs to be utilized very carefully. Then after the power of silence, we come to the end of our today's session, that is conclusion. And conclusion, we can say that common conversation is an essential part of our daily life. It engage effectively by applying these principles, and we can engage people effectively by applying these particular principles and what all we have discussed. So that's all about my today's session on common conversation. Elaborately, I have discussed all the points of common conversation and how I hope you have understood all of them and they are beneficial for you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you once again.